Where is my wrench? I just had it here 2 seconds ago. Didn't just get up and walk away. You know, it's always something.
Perfect.
What's going on, everybody? RC Propaganda here, coming at you with another video. Today's video is going to be all about tools, so let's get to it. First, I'm just going to go over some of the tools that I have and explain some things to you. And then in the second part, we'll go over how I take all these tools and put them into different containers and what have you, so I can take them out with me when I go out and do what I do. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about are hex wrenches, or Allen wrenches is kind of what I call them, but I see them listed as hex wrenches, so I guess I'll just call them hex wrenches. Now, I got a whole bunch of these. You can see here, these are some bigger ones. These are, I don't know where these came from. These are probably Craftsman ones that I had from just stuff over the years. And then you get down to like these ones here. These are free ones that you get with kits, usually when you buy like a RTR. They usually supply you with some tools. I believe these are Traxxas ones here. And usually they'll get the job done, no big deal. If you only have one RC truck and you just do this kind of low-key, you know, you're not really into the hobby, those kind of tools will be fine. But if you're going to stick with it, you're definitely going to want to upgrade your tools. Everyone probably has their own view on it, but I like to have some nice tools because it just really makes it nice when you're going to fix something and you grab something and it just feels good in the hand and it works well and you don't have to worry about stripping any bolts or anything like that. So when it comes to hex wrenches, you're gonna have low end and high end. Now, I started off with the RTR tools. I did have like other wrenches around. I have an old set here. These are kind of a little rusted up. They've been sitting in a little bag I have for tools in my truck, but I think it only has like one size that you use for RC. So any kind of hex wrenches you can get will work, but there are RC specific ones, like these sets I have here. These are a high-end Vanquish one, and we're going to discuss those. That was a $63 set, and then I have a set of 5 I got here. These were only $15. So the differences in low end and high end are going to be the tips themselves and what they're made out of. These Vanquish ones here, the handles are machined in the USA, but these tips are made in Taiwan, I guess. And these are probably all Taiwan here. It says Taiwan right on here. Now, these will be good for something like a crawler, because most crawlers, none of the nuts are usually torqued. Maybe just your pinion gear is going to be the thing with the most torque. So the softer tip with the cheap metal will probably hold up and overall be okay. So you could get by with something like this, but these aluminum handles and the way these ones are designed, they just feel really nice. And they also have a little set screw here. You remove that and you can replace the tip. Now, honestly, I don't think for the price on something like this you should be replacing the tip, but unfortunately that did happen on my 1.5 millimeter. The tip broke. I was trying to get something out, so you can see here I just removed the tip. Now, I did order a new one of these, and I would not buy these again because of that. I am upset for the price that I paid that the tip broke. Now, there is a brand called MIP. I'm going to be switching over to those because some of what I want to get into is the setup of your tools. That will come next. But it doesn't matter how you're set up if you don't have, you know, quality tools. So, that's just a little thing on the hex wrenches there. You're going to want to make sure you get something quality if you are into bashing, because a lot of those screws will be tight and you'll be putting a lot of force on those tips and you don't want them to break. So just keep that in mind. You know, that is something that can happen. So moving on to some of the other things I just have an Armor wrench here that comes with your RTRs for the wheel nuts, and it does have a couple other sizes that you can use on here. I keep these Traxxas tools here. This is a wheel nut wrench. This goes to the ball cups. I got shock shaft pliers. These come in real handy if you gotta change rod ends or anything like that. I keep a little pair of needle nose pliers. A set of pickups work really good to have. And I also like to keep like a little poker. This has got a little pointy end, but it's not super hard. It will bend if you put too much pressure on it, but I can use this kind of as like a little lineup bar and move things and stuff like that, so I really like to have that. And then these are just Traxxas wrenches for like turnbuckles and stuff. This is a 7mm. I have a few of these. And other tools I recommend, good hobby knife's always nice to have, and even a body reamer. Even if you're not doing a lot of RC bodies, it has a lot of uses. You can do some different things with this, so I like to have that. So those are kind of just the basic tools that I have. And what I like to do for me, because I crawl and I bash, is I like to set these up differently and have different tools in different spots for different things. So we'll get into that. So first off, I like to have is this pouch right here. Now, I see some people with like tackle boxes for like RC tool boxes, or they're like the little containers with the dividers in there that people use for fishing as well. And I did start off with one of those, and I just throw that in a bag. And I still keep it right here on my desk, well, on my workbench rather. And I keep all kinds of crap in there. It's kind of a mess. But as far as what I like to take out with me now is I like to take a pouch like this, because there's not a whole lot that goes in here, so if you got to search through it, it's not hard to find what you need. And then it's in a nice small form factor, and you just kind of throw everything in there, and it's really good. So I got this one here from Walmart. It was like $3 and it works perfect. So let's go over some of the things that I like to put in here. Okay, so this one is for bashing. So the first thing, I have a Hobbywing system in my Creighton, so I keep the program card with me. That's really nice to have. As far as hex wrenches, now this is something I kind of wanted to touch on, which is why I was getting at the quality of those Vanquish tools, is these are my cheap set. So I take these with me, I put these in my sack, and I don't have to worry if I lose them or one breaks or whatever. No big deal, they're just the cheapo ones. Now the expensive ones here, I keep in my little Innovation foam back here right on my workbench, because these are definitely better for sure, minus the tip breaking. And they also have a nice color code on the handle, so when I keep them in here, I know exactly what one I need, and they're right there in my reach. So that's how I keep them set up there. And my goal is to get another pair, and that is going to be some MIP ones, because like I said, the tip broke on that. I was a little disappointed. So I want to keep it my setup so I don't have to keep switching tools, because right now I have to switch between bashing and crawling with those cheap sets that I have. But I am going to upgrade, and then I'll be able to keep a set in both. Okay, so moving on. We're obviously going to take these wheel nut wrenches and the ball cup tool, because I have a Revo and my Arma. So this is just for all my bashing. Shock shaft pliers. I like to keep duct tape, electrical tape, and double-sided tape in the bag as well, in case you ever need anything like that. And we'll keep a pair of needle nose pliers. Lexan body scissors always come in handy. I like to keep some screws, so this is just a screw set I got for the Creighton. I'll throw that in there. Keep a few spares. I got a fan, a push rod, some hinge pin holders, battery strap. So we'll throw that in there. Little tiny wheel nut wrench, and then all my hex wrenches. And that's it. Everything is in here, good to go, just like that. You know, it's not the most organized, but if I need something, I just zip it up. I can pretty much find it. It's not that big of a deal. And especially, you know, when I go out bashing, I'll throw this on the tailgate, and I'll probably take a couple things out that I'll need right away. I like to double check nuts and bolts before I start a new bash session, so I'll just double check a couple things. So that's not a big deal. Okay, moving on. This is what I use for crawling. Now this is just a cheap fanny pack that I got off of Amazon, And this is going to be super simple. When I go crawling, I'm usually hiking or walking around a lot, so I don't have like a base like I would use my truck. I just leave all the stuff right there. I don't go too far from the truck when I'm bashing, so it's no big deal. But when I'm crawling, I want to have some lightweight, and honestly, crawling rigs are super simple, so you don't need a whole lot of tools. So I'll keep the wheel wrench. I've been keeping this new 10mm crescent wrench because the slipper clutch setup on the HPI uses this, so I have that. Always a little set of pickups. Got my little poker, and then this is all you need. Just your standard 1.5, 2mm, and 2.5. I have all those covered here. And then that will be it. And then this little wrench I'll keep in there just in case. Now I will swap out those cheap Allen heads that I have, or hex wrenches, and I'll put those in here. And like I said, I'm looking to grab another pair, so that way I have each bag with what I need. So when I'm going out, if I'm going bashing, I just grab my bash bag. If I'm going crawling, I just take this and I throw them in the backpack, and I have them there. I don't have no big crazy toolboxes or anything like that. It's nice and simple. And when I go crawling, I have room in this thing to throw a spare battery, and I also keep a few extra things in here, so I'll just go over that quick. In the back, I keep some battery connector types here. This is Deans to XT90, and I got Deans to Traxxas, or Traxxas to Deans rather. In the little pouch in here, I can keep extra batteries. This little side pouch here, I keep extra body clips, which come in handy because I'm sure you guys know you lose those. And then in this pouch, I got room. I can carry anything else I want. I got like a little servo extension in there. But a lot of times I just throw my phone in there, or you can throw a battery or what have you. So these little fanny packs are actually really nice when you're out on the trail. You don't have to take a whole backpack with you or anything like that. You can just throw this around your waist. Once you get over the fact that you got a fanny pack on, it's really no big deal. So that's kind of just the tools that I have. Nothing too crazy. Another thing I do recommend, although I don't recommend this one, but some sort of power device for when you're doing a lot of breakdowns. You can really get things apart quick, but I would not recommend this one because it's got a little bit too much power. I just kind of go really light with the trigger, and I won't obviously snug bolts up or anything with this, but I keep this 7mm in here for my wheel nuts. You could just blast them on and off real quick. So that is kind of like a luxury item that you don't need, but you can pick up in the future. You know, I got other things in my workbench, like some little cutters. I got these wire strippers for soldering. But again, that's all stuff you don't really need. But the basics are kind of covered in these. You need a hex wrench and some sort of nut driver for your wheels and stuff. It would be better to get something like this, and then, you know, it's a lot better than using that little one, but it's not something you definitely need. You just need those basic things. Well, alright guys, that is going to be it for the look at the tools that I use and how I use them. If you guys have any questions about them, just leave it down in the comments. And as always, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell so you can see when I post new videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.